Hey guys, it's here bringing you another video. That did not lock on, there we go. Welcome to another viewer Spectates, so a series that I really enjoy doing. I brung this series kind of back. We did it, I think, many years ago. But the reason why I brought this series back is because, you know, we're doing well in the main account. We're in Master E West, and that's great. And you guys like watching that, and you guys like to see the climb. But, you know, the roots of this channel weren't all entertainment. It was a lot of education, and it's harder to be educational when you're playing live in Master because the quality is so high that you do have to try and concentrate on more what you're playing rather than what I'm saying, and it's easier to say casual things than pure education things when you're concentrating. I know that might sound weird, but yeah. So this series is aimed to help the every viewer. Right now, we're watching John D. Money is Bronze 2 NA, and that is more likely really aligned with you guys, the audience. The vast majority of you are going to be in that literally either unranked, but bronze to gold bracket. If you're above that, you're in the minority. So yeah, welcome to the viewer Spectate. So the good thing about this one is Xerath is one of my champions. So hopefully I can offer quite a bit of things here. Straight away, I would say, you will see me very often, pretty much always. Max, why is he standing still? Okay, is he DC'd? Okay, no, there's so much that's just going on. Wait, I need to pause. Hold up. Okay, so firstly, he disconnected. Going back to my original point, though, that I was trying to make straight away is you will often see me start W level 1. Why do I start W level 1? Well, if you look into the damage, Q level 1 starts 98 if you're starting, obviously, with this start, which is pretty much every time. So that's 98. But if you hit an enemy in the center, so of your W, it's 80 damage if you don't. So yeah, Q's more. But if you hit someone on the center, it's 133. And at level 1, especially a melee champion like Zed, hasn't got all the tools to range farm or dodge a W. Sure, when he gets his shadow at level 2 or level 3, he can dodge it easier. But you could maybe land 2 dead center Ws before that point, dealing quite a bit more damage. And obviously your W affects minions too, and it's obviously very easy to hit dead center Ws on the minions, so it actually gives you potentially faster wave clear. So I would straight away, as a point that I would just say, as a Xerath player, in most matchups I would consider going W level 1. In matchups that I wouldn't consider it is another range matchup like this. If you're against a Lux, then it's probably not as worth doing because she's also going to be really far back. She can just use her E. And you can just use your Q, so really high range abilities, both of them, so that's worth knowing. The other thing I just need to point on, and obviously not really to do with the Xerath, is the Gnar. And oh, again, we get to see all chat, which is interesting. This is just more a PSA. Don't give your enemies information about the game in all chat. So the Warwick did an interesting thing. He invaded level 1, got the Shaco's red. Right now, the enemy team, I can nearly guarantee, have no idea that happened. And now, the Gnar just told them it did. So Shaco, who's starting blue, you can see on the minimap that's disappeared. He right now has finished blue, and he'll be pathing on his way, probably does a few camps here or there, but he'll be pathing on his way to red, naturally. But now that Gnar has told him, hey, your red's not there, why would he path over there? He, if he wanted to, could recover his game jungle because of the knowledge that an enemy gave him, go to the enemy red, quickly get that, and then you've not really lost out. Don't give your enemies information that gives you advantage. Like, I know it's crazy to say, but you do see it. Like, you do genuinely see people giving information like that at really weird times. So I will say, John D. Money did give me 2 games that I could select from. I think one was was it a Swain game? I think it was a Swain game. Yes, one was a loss with Swain and one was a win with Xerath. I do like to try and focus on the more positive of these. There are still plenty of things that we can help educational from the wins. I know some people are like, you know, watch some losses, and it's the thing to say, if the people that are in this series, they select what you know, they want me to watch on average. If Nadu or John D said, no, I want you to watch the Swain one, then I'll probably watch the Swain one, but he gave me the option. So I want to more focus on the positive if I can. Also, just to mention, the only person from YouTube that so far has entered this series Again, for you to do that, by the way, it's a, I believe, what did we make it? Was it a $10 super chat? I think it was. But Ace Atlas, just to mention if you are watching, my friend, obviously, as I just mentioned, usually there's a communication that I have with the people that do it, and obviously most people are from Twitch, so it's easier for me to kind of go, which one do you want me to watch? Obviously, with you being a YouTube audience member, not a Twitch member, I believe, it's harder for me to do that. So what I'll probably do in the next couple, maybe week or so, is I think your account, I've got it. I'll just look at the match history and I'll probably just select a game for us to watch. So yeah, hopefully that's okay. Right, so one thing worth mention, and you know, I think we all can kind of just see it, and you know, sometimes you do have to mention the elephant in the room, is farm. One of my weaknesses, you know, and this is the funny thing, is, you know, sometimes when you do these educational series, I'll mention farm to some people and they'll go, Huz, why are you mentioning farm? Your farm sucks. Just because my farm isn't the best doesn't mean I also can't mention it. My farm, I'd say, is okay. It's just not one of my strengths. Unfortunately, the early game has been pretty rough when it comes to farm, I would say, for Xerath. You know, Zed wasn't here for a minute or two, and there is hardly, if any, farm lead right now. And a very easy principle that even I need to do, and you know, in reality, we all make excuses of why we don't do stuff like this, what I'm about to mention, but you should. If you want to get better, if you want to climb, actively practicing, actively trying to make yourself better should be part of that. So using the practice tool is what I would recommend. In jungle conversations we've had recently, I did mention you can go into the practice tool and learn where all the jungle camps leash and reset from and stuff like that. But people don't do that. Does flash, didn't need to use ghosts. Again, try not to absolute panic when it comes to your sums. But you do get a Z double sums to no death. Please go back though right now. There is no reason you'd want to stay. Shaco could come back again, but you're so low. Sometimes you do have to kind of have that, like, the trade-off of going back versus what am I going to gain. The weird thing here is Zed, I think, has gone back. So again, we are in Bronze 2. So we're not going to see the highest quality of play no matter who we're watching. In no world that Zed should have ever gone back. He has double sums. He's an energy champion. He didn't have low mana, for example. He could have just stayed in lane, but he didn't. So that is very weird. But what I would be doing if I'm John D at the moment as Xerath is I would be hard pushing this, because you know Zed's going to be coming back now. And if you mistime it and not the right timing, you could get caught, you could die, and now you're having to go back now you're even getting zoned from the farm. So I would have hard pushed it, gone back. So that is definitely something we can say about another little improvement, is know when to go back. I would have gone back from right now, because you now have to be pretty damn passive in this lane, and you don't really want to be fully. Again, please go back now. Because if you die here, which is very close... Oh, he missed his Q. Oh, please go back now. Go back. He's ulting. Okay. The ult is interesting, but I don't actually mind the ulti. Okay, hits 2 and then go with that. Why do I not mind the ulti? Okay, please go back, John. The ulti's not bad because you're getting someone lower health when you are going to go back, in theory. Go back. So we can use that as an improvement. Like, number one, I get, like, what I'm guessing, and this is a complete guess, I'm guessing you're going for 1300, yeah. So I'm guessing that he was like, I want that 1300. He probably has it in his mind that I want 1300 gold before I do my first base, I get my lost chapter, and then I'm happy. That's fine, and on average, yeah, going back for your first base and getting a lost chapter is fantastic on pretty much every mage. But there's a limit to it. You've got off, I will say, this game very well with doing it. You haven't died. And that's where I would say adjusting your play, not for always the rating you're in, is appropriate. If you are somebody who is, let's say, bronze, it's fine that you're in bronze. Like here, the fact that John D is in bronze, he got let off a lot for not dying. He arguably should have died at least twice in that situation, but neither time the Zed finished off the kill well. But if you were in, let's say, silver or gold, you would have just died there. So I would say adjust your play a little bit to the aspirations of where you want to be. And definitely, if you were a little bit higher rating there, you would have died. So do keep that in mind. So the Zed, the one thing I will say the Zed's not doing very well, you know, I also play Zed, is he actually hasn't pushed, and I know he DC'd in the early game, but with that double sums, double buffs, etc., he has not quite pushed his advantage. What I actually would have wanted to see from the Zed is more aggression with his W and get on top of the Zed, get on top of the Xerath, because that, like here, that's it. The Ignite's weird, and then stun, and then there's the stun into the Q, and Zed's dead. So again, very weird decision making. Again, good play to survive that, you know. The Ghost is useful against the Zed. Oh, and there's Shaco. And this is going to go down, I presume, John D. Yes. So unfortunately, it does go down. Again, when you are that low health, again, I know it's easy to forget there's a Shaco in the game and he pops up at the perfect timing. And that, you know, you probably sighed in your chair and was like, of course, Shaco, okay, mid lane. And yeah, of course. I know it sucks, but it's literally Sod's Law. Is if there's a Shaco in the game, he will be there at the right time to kill you. That's just the way that it goes. So a few tips just to give so far from watching. So farming does need to be improved. Going on that practice tool, spending, you know, I'm not even like a crazy amount. Like an old tip that some people gave of a way to improve your farm through practice tool was do, you know, generic farming practices. Just do wave after wave and just do better with farm. That's fine. But a really effective way, big ulti's coming down. Oh, an effective thing that some people used to do, I don't know if people do it still, is they go in practice tool. Oh dear. Oh, they go in practice tool and they farm until they get until they miss one. So the idea is you try to do perfect farm every single wave. And in theory, when you get good at it, you should always get perfect farm, because in a practice tool, don't have a bot or anything against you, or if you do, you know, they're not going to do that much. You shouldn't be getting harassed, so you should be able to get perfect farm. And if you can get really good at getting perfect farm, just generically, your farm will very much improve, even in one of these type of games. Because let's be honest, there's been a lot of this lane phase so far that Zed has not even been in lane phase. He DC'd, he was just now in bot lane. So the farm should be a lot higher. And that just comes with practice. So that's one thing to say, is definitely practice would be good. Just walk away. This is an odd Zed. So I would on average say I wouldn't recommend playing Zed if you're in bronze. But if you enjoy the champion, all power to you. But you're just seeing like odd decisions. The flash there, I get why he's doing it, but it's a little bit weird. So that's one thing, obviously, is improve the farm, number one. Going back, I'd say when you should is definitely something I would do. Yes, this game particularly, oh, he didn't die from not going back earlier. Sure, but he probably got zoned out a lot of farm more than if he just went back and then came back. You could be more aggressive in the lane instead of being passive in the lane. And let's be honest, in reality, he should have died on the health that he stayed around on, like in reality. So now that Zed isn't here, I like that you're pushing the wave, you're putting it into the tower. So if Zed is bot lane, if he does roam bot lane, then, you know, he'll get punished. But in reality, what it should always do is force them to come back mid. And that's exactly what it's done. So that's not bad at all. But what I would say is I do like... Oh, run. I think you might be okay if you just keep running. He does get that kill. Maybe, again, a little bit of damage there, you would have killed him, but I do understand that. So, in reality, you know... Ooh, hey, that's actually not that bad. Okay, you get an assist. Yeah, so this matchup, Xerath versus Zed, is actually quite difficult for Xerath, or pretty much any mage, because, you know, he can just constantly keep going, just engage, wait a few seconds, energy comes back up, go for it again. Just as a basic tip when you're against a Zed, though, that I've noticed that, you know, you haven't used so far. He didn't ult then, which is fine. But when he does ult, for those that don't know, Zed will always end up behind you. So if ever you watch like a decent player playing Xerath or Ahri or something of that nature, and you're like, dude, how the hell do they hit their charm or their stun on Zed every time they ult? Because you just aim behind you at the right timing and you'll stun him or charm him every time. Where that can change, though, in modern day League of Legends is if Zed buys also Prowler's Claw. Because really good Zeds, they'll do their ult and then they'll Prowlers at the same time. And basically, even before he kind of appears after his ulti, he'll be the other side of you. And it's really annoying. But that's the reality of a lot of the new items. So yeah, going Ludens, which is fine. Obviously, your bot lane's done great. Neela, again, I think I said it in my reaction to the LoL dev stuff, is I personally cannot say that Neela has been a success as a champion. She's very niche, if you want to use that word. Nobody plays her. Let's be honest. Nobody really plays that champion. And yeah, like, she does have that type of kit that screams to me she's either going to be useless or broken. There's not really going to be any in between. Unfortunately, that is majority of new League of Legends champions as it is. Just look at Xerath as well, for God's sake. Anyway, enemy team invading. Hopefully we can get a reaction. Warwick does go down, but hopefully there should be a potential pick. That's the clone. Xerath ulti over the top here to do some scouting wouldn't actually have been bad. Xerath ult, Xerath ult, Xerath ult. He's got it. Here we go. Bam. Oh, and then here. So again, we did see, which John D would have seen as well, by the way. If you guys saw that faint red outline of Shaco, you do get to see that. If you do land some damage on a stealth champion, you actually do get to see like a faint outline. And that's what we just saw. Neela going for an all-in. Not really sure what the Viger was doing there. And Xerath returning back to lane. Don't throw your stun. So again, that's another a tip I would advise, especially when you're against an assassin. Don't just throw your stun at Xerath. Be very passive with your stun. And I know it's going to be awful to do that. Basically pretend that in your poke, your stun is not included. The reason being is your stun against something like a Zed is your defense when he ults you. If you use it, miss it, and then he ults on you, very likely you're gonna die. And as you can see here, the poke, you don't need the stun to poke him. You don't need the stun to get his health low. You do need the stun to keep yourself alive for the inevitable all-in. Because the more that you just poke, the more you're also gonna make that assassin player frustrated, thus leading them into probably a bit of an odd engage. Let's just put it that way. So yeah, I would not use the stun for poke. Unless you're just very confident, or hey, the Zed's just used all of his energy on all the minions, then go for a stun because he's got no energy to go on then you. But yeah, do be careful of just using it willy-nilly. So again, the Zed, and this is where I would say no matter what rating you're in, you do your best to keep up with modern day builds. It's not that hard to do. You can just do a bit of research. There's many websites that can tell you the builds, etc. Drakthar Zed is, to me, really outdated. Prowlers is better for simply that repositioning. Again, especially if you're a Zed player and you're playing against a Xerath who can just stun you at the right timing after an ult. Prowlers can stop that. And hell, even Eclipse is probably better on Zed as well. So a little bit of an outdated build here from Zed. Yes, it's still annoying. He gets a kill, he goes stealth. That is frustrating. But not the build that I would have done this game at all if I was the Zed. Yeah, he does have, again, throwing out stun. Don't do that, as we've mentioned. But this is what we want to see. We want to see the harass go on Zed. He will be looking for an all-in. There's no doubt in my mind. Shaco going bot lane again. Very low farm by the Shaco, by the way, which is weird to see because Shaco isn't actually not that bad at farming. But yeah. Set goes down. Caitlyn trying to do her best. The Viger does miss position a few times, so he will end up going down. But I think Caitlyn's going to be alive. And there's that. Yeah, keep the poke up. Very nice. The lower health he is, then either he just has to go back and accept he has to just go back. Lovely poke. Is he going to ult? He is. Bam. Over here. Nice. Oh, he flashed. Again, hopefully you heard that he flashed. Yes, you did. You put his flash in chat. Lovely. Not bad. Don't think the Zed actually needed a flash, but overall not too shabby. And again, this is what we like to see. The constant harass. This is so far so good. Again, farm, it's not the worst. You know, we're about to hit the 100 farm mark. That's fine. Again, so many people, I will say, and it's been I don't know, it's been a thing for me that one of the things that I've always liked, and, you know, I'm not trying to big myself up here or anything, but, you know, I'm a master EUS player and I am far from a perfect player, and I love that because so many people, I don't know, maybe it's just other League content creators. I'm not sure because, again, I don't really watch any, but so many people get it drilled in their head that they basically need to play perfect to climb and to get a higher rating. Hell no, you don't. I'm Master EUS and my farm is my worst part of my game. You don't have to farm perfectly. You should try to farm your best. You know, I'm not saying actively don't farm well. No, do farm well as you can, but also don't beat yourself up if you're not having the best farming game. There's other ways to win, there's other ways to do well, and if it's just not your strength, you can always work on it, obviously, but yeah, I don't know. The whole thing of play perfect or else to me is absolutely crazy, especially the lower rank you are. It's very, very peculiar in my mind. So if I was Xerath right now, your bot lane is taken over mid, I would personally go bot lane. So John D, which is, I will have to say, I'm completely fine with it, because that's what League of Legends historically has been. He is very super glued to mid lane, which is fine. You know, you are a mid laner, you are going mid, and I completely get that rationale. But sometimes, again, this whole play that's about to happen, it should be basically over by the time you get there. So you would probably be doing yourself a favor by going bot lane and getting minion wave after minion wave, because again, this play, and maybe it's not going to be over, maybe you'll get there in time, but it should be over before you even get there. Now there's a fight happening, people are getting a little bit caught, and that will be probably the end of the fight. And in that time, you know, you didn't help get a kill or whatever. You could have probably had 2, maybe even 3 minion waves in bot, giving yourself solo experience, giving yourself a lot of gold. And again, that is something that even I need to get better at, is when to go side lane. I think it's what a lot of sometimes mid laners need to get better at, to be honest. Which again is fine. I'm never going to hold against a mid laner for wanting to be mid. You know, to me, League of Legends has become a little bit too centric in not really being in your role at the right time. It is a bit weird. You know, we've all seen that support in top lane at 3 minutes in the game. You're like, what's going on? And that just seems normal nowadays. So yeah, I'll never blame somebody for wanting to be in their mid role when they have queued up as mid. That to me isn't a negative, to be honest. So I would be a little bit careful. Being alone right now would potentially make a Shaco want to engage. Yes, now you do have Viger. Before that point, it was a bit precarious. Gets hit by W. Where's Viger going? No idea. So he's doing a little bit of farming when he can, the Viger. Again, I'm not a massive fan of Viger support, by the way. I don't think people would be surprised. There's the Shaco. It's the one... I don't know. The one closer has some weird movement, but maybe it's not him. Nice Q. The Shaco's going to be to your left now, then. That's Zed as well. Get to the Caitlyn. Vigar stun. Good flash. Keep walking, I would, for now, and then maybe ult over the top. Doesn't have ult. Okay, that's why there's no ult happening. Caitlyn trying to get away from Neela. Warwick needs to turn on Neela, and then Xerath can do a bit of harass over the top, maybe? Any here? Bam! Ooh. Oh god, center ult as well. But yeah, that was crazy tankiness coming from Shield Bow. That item is still a little bit crazy in my book, but it is what it is. But yeah, not too bad. Good flash, good survival. Prioritize survival is a good thing to do, because again, you can't do any damage if you're dead. So that was a good idea. Just get yourself out of there. I do think the Viger is struggling with that a little bit this game, is like when to be at the right place, right time type of thing. Nice Q. So one tick I've definitely got to give to John D is his accuracy is actually not bad. But with his Q, and even sometimes his ultimate, it's not too bad. Especially the Q. The Q's been actually pretty good this game. As I've said throughout the game, though, definitely prioritize on holding your stun a little bit more. Don't just willy-nilly throw it out there. I would be careful doing this play. Again, where's the benefit? You're going to be very low health. Easy route for Shaco if he wanted to just assassinate you. It probably would kill, you know, it would probably cost Shaco your life, and well, Shaco in top lane. So Shaco gets a kill on Gnar, that's the real one. Zed coming down bot lane. So what you're looking to do, which is always nice, here we go, into the Zed ulti. No stopwatch, obviously, from Xerath, unfortunately, but he will go down, and the turret's gone down. So even though a death has happened, it's fairly worth. Warwick is just chasing down the Shaco and does get him. Yeah, this Shaco has not had the best of the game. Also, Drakthar Shaco as well. Why is Drakthar being built on all the assassins? I don't know. You run through all my boxes, no, makes no sense. That Shaco does not know there's like a little time that it takes for them to basically activate. You can't put a box down and it instantly does everything. It literally takes a few seconds for it to activate. Neela going for a 1v2. Good Zhonya's. God, that champion. Oh, they just got to run away. Guys, run. Shaco was just spawned. Zed is alive. Run for the hills, staying alive. All right, not bad. So build by Xerath. So 133. Not the best KD, obviously, this game, which is fine. Obviously, gives me more things to kind of talk about. This is one of those games, because of what's happening, you're being, let's be honest, most of your deaths is either a Shaco or a Zed. Zhonya's second item, my dude, 100% more worth this game. One, you're getting value from the armor. You know, look at the enemy comp. They're full AD. And two, the survivability of that assassin going for you, of that, oh, Zed ultimate, I can just Zhonya's it. Way more value going Zhonya's as your second item this game, instead of going probably, what, Horizon. So that is one thing I would mention as well with build. Obviously, some players out there, not saying John D is one of them, but some players out there have their one build they do every game no matter what. Obviously, what you should be looking to do is adjusting your build to the game that you're in. This game is just a prime example of Zhonya's being amazing. Enemy team is full AD, 2 assassins, and pretty much only your deaths have come from pretty much those assassins. So to me, it's a no-brainer. Get that Zhonya's. At least have the stopwatch component. And then, you know, because some people out there, which I don't mind the thought process, is that they buy the stopwatch component and they won't buy a Zhonya's until they use that stopwatch component. Because it's like, well, I can just get 650 gold. That's the reason I'm buying the item. Oh, I've used it now. Okay, I'll upgrade to the Zhonya. That's fine too, if you want to do that. But at least just give yourself that survivability with the stopwatch. So Baron being done. Zed comes a little bit too late, and they do get Baron, so that's actually a really nice call. Enemy team obviously is mainly just being stuck in their base, so that's a nice thing. Go for an objective when you can, which is just great. You know, the Warwick's been farming really well this game too. He's quite ahead of the Shaco. And one thing it's worth knowing is the enemy team's weakness, you could say, is going to be grouping. Neela's very melee-centric. They're full AD, so you can itemize against it. And they have 2 assassins. Assassins don't like grouping on average. Xerath ulti. Hits it one more. Hits it. Ooh, unfortunate, but nice. Again, not too bad accuracy, as I've mentioned. So you're now in the enemy base. All inhibs are dying. You know, the enemy team is just bleeding in this game. So honestly, fairly well played. Gnar going fairly aggressive. Zed going all in. He goes all in, though, on the target that has Zhonya's. So again, make sure you're looking actively. Oh, that was unfortunate by the set. Pay attention. Obviously, this is for the Zed advice, is pay attention who has what item. Neela going all in into a shutdown for the Shaco on the Caitlyn. Poke over the top by Xerath. Rampage is the Warwick. I don't honestly think they can deal with him. Nice poke over the top. That's what we like to see. Shaco's here. You can see the outline. You can see the outline. It's this one. There we go. Nice kill by Warwick. And there we go. That is an ace quadra kill for Warwick. But I like, though, as another tip, or another good thing, is a big fight was happening. You were low health there, but you did recognize, oh, I don't actually have to completely go away. I can poke over the top. So that was a good thing, too. So some good things. I like the accuracy with the Q with this game was pretty good. The accuracy with the ultimate this game was actually not bad as well. But as for the advice, just from this game, we can pick up a fair amount. Obviously, farm, yes, should be improved and looked at to try and get better at that, especially when you don't have a lane opponent in lane. That's where you're hoping to get near perfect farm. So I would recommend going to practice tool, just even for like 10-15 minutes once a week, and just practicing trying to get perfect farm without any lane opponent. Because this game, there was quite a few times that you had no lane opponent, and you could really just rack up that farm really fast. So that's one point. Farm. Holding your E, I think, is quite a vital thing, especially in a matchup like this. Yeah, if you're against a mage, it's not as important because they don't have that all-in like a Zed does. But against the matchup is, again, adjust to your matchup. Something like a Zed is going to go for the all-in. Having that stun available is literally sometimes the difference between life and death. So hold your stun and use it for the right time. Going back at the right time, I really do understand the mentality of first base, 1,300 gold, get that lost chapter. This game, you got away with it a bit, but you really should have died. And even though you got away with it from not dying this game, it definitely cost you a lot of farm. You had to play a lot more back than you probably would have if you just went back and then came back and then you could have farmed for free. So that's another thing. You could say like being super glued to mid lane a little bit too much, but Again, you're a mid laner, you want to be mid. I do kind of respect that, but you know, sometimes it is better just to go bot lane if your team are making a play in mid lane, they're breaking the enemy base, but you're not going to get there in time. Yeah, just go side lane and just get a lot of free farm and XP. That's where like a mid laner can sometimes be the highest level in the game, like a top laner. The Gnar, I think right now is the highest level in this game because they have that side lane solo XP. Mid laners do that now quite a lot, so that's another thing. And then itemization. So again, adjust your items, adjust your build to the game that you're in. 2 assassins, pretty much most of your deaths, I'm pretty sure, maybe one was from Neela, but Zed and mainly Shaker were harassing you, were jumping on you. Having that Zhonya's would be that kind of game changer, or at least just getting that stopwatch component and then, oh, I've used it now, but it did save my life. Okay, now I'll go for the Zhonya's. So itemizing, thinking actively about like what's good in the game. You know, don't get me wrong, Horizon or whatever you're going to buy there would still be good, but it's just what is the best, what's giving me the most value. This game, the highest value is survivability because they're full AD, so Zhonya's is giving you that armor. It's also giving you the anti-assassin mechanic of the invulnerability. So to me, 100% what you should have gone there. But overall, not too bad. Hopefully that advice will help. And yeah, I enjoy doing these. Again, it's nice to see Xerath, a fun champion as always. And as I've always said with this series, is if it's up to the people who are involved in the series, we have now done 2 with Ace, for those that remember. So if John D. Money in 2-3 months time, if you use this advice, try to work on it. If you wanted another commentary, we can do that and we can see if that improvement happens. But yeah, hopefully that will be cool. And if you guys did enjoy it, please do throw a like on it, throw a comment, throw a subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.
Call down the reckoning.